I've heard from several people about their fear of the blank page and how it's stopping them from beginning meaningful journal or diary work. So I have a few hacks here to help you get, if this is you, to help you get past your fear or anxiety about the white page. It's pretty simple. It is scary. You have this pristine blankness here, but let's just make it so it's not pristine anymore. And then you're going to have permission to make a big old mess. I have some tea here, and I've got an eyedropper, and I'm just going to drizzle some tea, blah, 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 all around. Gonna fold it too, and open it carefully. And now you have a nice messy mess. If you don't have an eyedropper, I sometimes pour it straight out of the pot. You can use coffee. I have used red wine. You can also just take a little spoonful like this. Okay. So if you don't have eyedroppers or whatnot, no excuses. Here's a page that I mussed up using red wine and coffee. And this is one with just the red wine. Here's one with tea. Now, once you've done this, you can, of course, just start working on top of it. And maybe this is enough to get you started. But another thing that you can do if you're not sure where to go from here is to, look at some of the patterns, just as you would with clouds in the sky or whatnot, and play around with what you see and draw into that. Now here we've got a darker smudge, so I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to lean into it. Then I'm going to take some color and, okay, it's not Da Vinci, but it is a start. It just shows you how you can use what's here to get you unstuck. Doodle into it, make it into a map, or a border, or an animal, or what you will. But just do it. Now, again, this isn't the greatest page, but maybe that's good. Maybe it will show you that you don't have to always be making the perfect page. I added a little bit of yellow up here. You could use a soft pastel or a crayon. I just doodled around the bud here, and then I made a simple box, and I wrote, "Today I made a messy page." And so you can just make these safe places for you to start writing and recording. If you want to do a little bit more messiness, a little bit more mark making, I've got some white paint here that I've watered down, and I'm going to add some glorious splatters on everything. Okay. Don't know if you can see those, but it adds a little bit of depth and texture and easy messiness, which is on everything on my table now. I've also got some ink and water in a spritzer mister, and you can add some grunge like this. You can fold into it if you want to make it splotchy, or you can really just lay it on thick and then tilt your pages around and make even more messiness that when that dries, again, you can draw into that or write around it. Here are a few messy backgrounds that I made. I just made these a while ago, knowing that I would want some messy pages to work on as when I came to them. So if I have time and some old coffee and a spritzer, and in this case a stencil, you can just make some grungy pages. This is with a different stencil, and again some coffee and a mister. And this is even messier. It was a stencil, but the tea was so loose that it just got sloshy, and I love the way it looks. So now I have no reason to be anxious or afraid, and I can just play. And here's one last thing to try to get you unstuck. Maybe you don't want to make big messes. Okay. What I did was I made a grid. I did not over measure. I kind of did it to the eye with a bit of a ruler, and I drew off little squares on one page. And you don't have to do a whole page or a whole layout of 2 pages. You can do 1 square. Now, don't tell me that you can't do 1 square, because you can. You can draw your coffee cup or teacup, and then write about it. Earl Grey, I'm running out. Okay. Okay, there's your prompt. Make 1 little square about that. Or make 1,000 squares. Let's see. I can draw my pen. Okay. Now, write about what you are making this page with. Show you an example of how I use this on a vacation, because I often was getting behind. And so if I couldn't keep up with a whole layout or a whole section, I could draw a piece of cake or 1 building. And if I didn't even have time to do that, I just wrote down some notes about what I had for lunch. A tiny train, croissant. So if you do this, you're going to build up, these capture memories so well, just the little tiny details of the everyday. And that's what you can do too if you make a grid or some kind of a chart. So no excuses. Get up and go make something.